you got an out islander, you know that the lighting in the galley is really not the best. And there's not a lot of options to get more light in there with that hard inner liner and then the deck right below it. So what I did was I found some lights on Amazon here. You see them. They're very shallow recess lighting that snap in. So what I'm going to do is take you through how I installed them today. The first thing I did was remove the old strip LED lighting that I had installed a few days ago. It had really quit working, it had gotten dry and discolored, so it was time for it to head down the road. After laying out where I wanted the lights to go, I then proceeded to get a 2.5-inch hole saw and drill the holes in the inside liner. There's a little bit under an inch of space there between the deck and the inside liner, so drilling the hole with the hole saw worked out just fine. For this install is my plan to run individual lines from each light to a bus bar in the engine room. I'll be covering more on that on later. So here you see 16 gauge Maureen wire with the current codes yellow and blue for lighting. What I did on this particular install, and I plan to do on all moving forward, is instead of using butt connectors on every device install, I'm going to put spade connectors. So if I have to replace them for any reason, all I have to do is put a new spade on the new device and plug it in. It should make upgrades and maintenance a lot easier. After several hours of fishing lines through the headliner and back through an access hatch and into the engine room, I snapped in the first of the recessed lights, which you see here, and afterwards I put the other 3 in. It looks like a really nice finished job, so it's time to move to the engine room. After spending some time getting all 4 of the individual wire runs run into the engine room, I then hooked them up to a bus bar, which you see the beginning of here. With all 4 of those wire runs mounted on the bus bar, and then the bus bar itself mounted on the wall in the engine room. Now, when I finish this installation, this bus bar will have a switch leg back into the galley so you can turn all 4 of those lights on and off. This distribution bus bar will be powered by a secondary bus bar that's going to collect the rest of the circuit runs from the starboard side of the boat. This is actually the beginning of my project to rewire the whole 12 volts on the boat, along with those grounding and shut-off switch for the electrical that you saw in last week's vlog. I'd like to take a break here at the channel from all the action and ask you, if you enjoy what you see here on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscription button. We'd really appreciate it. Also, give us a thumbs up. The positive feedback is always enjoyed. With some help from the yard and a big heavy-duty impact wrench, I removed all the chain plates. Here you see the bolts loosened up with the chain plates marked. And then here you see the back side with the chain plate hardware removed inside the galley. Now this week I'm going to drop them off at the machine shop and get replacements made. Well, that's it for this week's vlog. It was just a quick update. That was because of 2 factors. Number 1, we had some rain here 2 weeks ago, so I didn't get to spend much time out at the boat. Now this last weekend, as you saw, I did the galley light upgrades. Though it seems like it wasn't a lot of work, it did take quite a few hours to fish those lines. So, like most boat jobs, it seems like it should take 5 minutes. In reality, it takes 5 hours. But as always, thanks for stopping in. Check back in here. We're going to have more on the electrical rewiring of the boat. Also an upgrade, as I explained to you, that whole project and the review comments that I'm going to get from PYS Electrical out of Canada. So once again, thanks for stopping in.